What's up guys, it's Apollo Uchiha here and welcome back to my channel. Today I am back with a new short movie. The name of this short movie is What If Naruto Was a Civilian but with a Twist. And yeah guys, before we continue this, yes, this is my own idea and the twist will be that he will be in the Percy Jackson universe, but as a normal mortal, nothing more and nothing less. So yeah, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel. And PS, this might be a harem one, a goddess harem one. So yeah, enough said. Without any further ado, let's begin with our today's short movie. Our story begins in New York City, a state like any other state, which was beautiful in its own right and a little bit terrible in its own right as well. As now we see, like any other state, this state also held its own secrets deep within its heart. One prominent being that the Greek gods have moved long before the Age of Dawn from Greek itself to the said city in USA, hidden away at the Empire State Building top, away from the mortal eyes. And there, inside Mount Olympus, resided the Greek gods themselves. Now, usually they would stay there and won't bother with the mortals below, but sometimes, just to get away from the said family, most of them, hiding behind their family's back, would come here. And today, something of that was going on, as now we see Athena, the goddess of war and the goddess of wisdom, was here. After another fight with Poseidon and a rant with her father, she had had enough. She wanted to enjoy a little bit of peaceful mind of her own, and right now she was here, away from everything, hoping to find a library of a sort, or even just a cafe to settle down and enjoy a cup of tea or coffee. As she was strolling down, we see she bumped into a young man with blonde hair and blue eyes. He was wearing spectacles, but they fell down. As he then said, "Oh, I apologize. I didn't see you there." As he went down to pick up the books, Athena, seeing this, helped him out, intrigued of what kind of books he was reading, and was quite shocked to find out they were huge amount of books regarding mathematics and whatnot subject. Are you a student? No, actually, I just began as a professor today. What is your name? Where are my manners? I apologize. My name is Naruto. Naruto Uzumaki. A Japanese name. Yes, I am from Japan, actually. Or my mother was, said Naruto with a toothy grin. As Athena wouldn't admit it, but she found the boy quite charming, and not only that, he had these three whisker marks on each side of his cheek, as she then asked, "What are these things on?" "Oh, they're my whisker marks." "I'm sorry, what?" said Athena, a little bit taken aback. "I'm just joking with you. I didn't get your name, though." "My name is Athena." "Like the Greek goddess?" said Naruto, as his eyes filled with curiosity. "You know about Greek mythology?" she asked, quite intrigued. "Well, yes, of course. I love to read about history and other subjects of such." "So, where do you teach?" "Oh, just in the university up down the state." As that is when both of them begin to talk from a minor bump, and soon enough we see one thing led to another, and they begin to date. Now, Tina wouldn't admit it. Usually, after meeting once or twice, she would have a brainchild and be on her way after delivering the daughter. But this time around, she was taking her time, and this was being quite fun, in her opinion. As now we see, almost a year and a half had passed, and at this point, Naruto and Athena had been enjoying their time. As Naruto had a small apartment in New York City, and he was quite near his university and would usually travel there to teach. Now, something was odd about Naruto here is that he was quite young to be looking like a professor. Even his card and identity card showed that he had been at the age of 30, which indicated that he was a legal adult, but he didn't look like it. If anything, he would much more look like a demigod at the age of 15 or 16, which was quite odd to her. As Naruto told her sometimes, joking that he might be a late bloomer or something like that. As now we see, Naruto then said, "Listen, Athena, I've been thinking. Maybe it's time we take it up a step further." What do you mean by that, Naruto?" she said, taken aback and expecting that Naruto might want some relationship of a sort or maybe some bodily pleasures, but that all changed when Naruto went down to his knee and brought out a ring from his pocket. "Athena, would you do me the honor of making me the happiest man on earth?" Would you would you marry me? As Athena was taken aback by this. She had been enjoying her time for so long, after so long, that she didn't thought for a moment that they have been dating, and she had been enjoying Naruto's company, not only because they shared the same interest, but also because Naruto was able to keep up with her in chess and a lot of other things, and their activities were similar. As that is when we see Athena then said, "How about we? Yeah, I knew this might be too early. Sorry about that. No, it's fine, Naruto. I appreciate the gesture. How about we talk about this in the morning, hmm? In the meantime, how about we go and rest for a bit?" As the night went on, one thing led to another, and in the morning, Naruto was shocked to find that Athena wasn't there, and only a note was left, telling her that how she was sorry that she couldn't be a part of his life, and she will only reveal in future why is that. Naruto was heartbroken. An year and a half worth of time spent, and not only that, all of those memories, and in the end, everything just vanished just like that. He was heartbroken, but he knew that he had to wait because he had hope in Athena. As now we see, Naruto began to work as usual as his life went on until a few months later, Athena came to him. And this time, not normally as one would. She was looking a lot divine and had his aura around her, and in her arms was a child. "Naruto, I would like you to meet our child, Annabeth." As Naruto was taken aback by that. "Wait, but if you knew, then why didn't you stay? We could have." "It's not the same, Naruto. You see, I am the Greek goddess Athena itself." As Naruto was taken aback, and before she could explain, Naruto then said, I believe you somehow, I guess. I don't know why, but I do." "Are you mad at me?" she said, looking down, not being able to look up in the eye. This was a man she had spent the longest time in the history of her relationship with the other men of her children have. "No, I'm not mad at you. I kind of realize. But why did you not reveal this to me before?" "I couldn't. And these are the rules of my father, Lord Zeus, that once we have a child with a mortal, we can't intervene. And that is why I couldn't stay. And that is why I couldn't give answer to your question back then, because I know you vowed to be an virgin forever. I I'm sorry. I knew I was. It's alright, Naruto. But know this, I really did enjoy our time together. Now, please, would you?" "Of course." As Naruto held his daughter, and then a smile came to his lips. "Well, I guess you made me a happiest man on earth in a sense." As Athena's eyes widened, "By making me a father. She's a demigod, Naruto. And soon, if she reaches of age, she will have to go to Camp Half-Blood outside of the New York City." "Really?" "Yes. Would you would you take her there then?" "I Do I have to?" As Athena was taken aback. Now, usually the males would be all groaning and grouchy and say that why would they be the one to take care of the child only to be let it go. But Naruto was different. He was being protective already of the daughter. "Well, yes. You see, there are monsters that might come after her because of our scent. Like the mythology ones? Yes. And that is why I'm giving you this, Naruto. This bracelet is like of a shield. It will protect you and Annabeth both. Please take care of her." "I will. She's a symbol between what we had. Of course I will. Both you and her, in a sense, are precious to me," said Naruto, looking at his daughter, not realizing that Athena had a golden hue on her cheeks. She wouldn't admit it, but she had really fallen in love with Naruto, and the past few months that she was away, she was already watching over him and feeling a lot more guilt. As now we see, once Athena returned, Naruto began to raise his daughter named Annabeth. Naruto was quite intrigued as he chuckled that his daughter's mother would name their daughter after her own name, and it was quite cute in his opinion. While time began to pass by, we see young Annabeth begin to grow and turn into the age of 5. The bracelet that was given to Naruto to protect both of them, Naruto gave it to Annabeth as a memento of her mother, as well as in order to protect her, because she would be the most that would be targeted. But that wasn't all. As now we see, Naruto and Annabeth would usually go to cafes every once a week, and Annabeth would request her father to buy her books. And Naruto, being a professor himself, would usually do that and would agree to it. As now we see, up on Mount Olympus, time had passed. 5 years have went by in the blink of an eye, and she could see that Naruto still hasn't aged one bit and still resembled the same. And as for Annabeth, she was growing up. She had blonde hair like her father, and a little bit bluish and silverish eyes like both of her parents, and two whisker marks on each side of her cheek that were quite faint, that reminded her of Naruto. As now we see, currently Athena was sitting on the hearth next to Hestia, but all the goddesses were quite shocked to see the goddess in daze with a small smile on her lips. As Artemis, the goddess of hunt and maidens, then asked, sister, what is up with you? Yeah, you act like you're in love, and that is quite weird, said Aphrodite. As Hera then said, if she is, then I would be grateful if you finally settle down. No, it's nothing. Come on, tell us, said Demeter, as she was also there. As that is when Hestia placed a hand on her shoulder. It is all right. We have made a promise that whatever is said on my hearth would remain between us. Of course we have, said Aphrodite. Gone were her usual teasing, and now she was being considerate because Athena had never shown this vulnerable side. As she then looked down and said, for the first time since I exist, in all these millennia, I detest our father's rule of not being able to stay and meet with our demigod's parents. And not only that, me forever being vowed to stay a virgin. As this shocked both Hestia and Artemis, and Aphrodite to no end, as their mouths were gaping open, as Hera's eyes were widened as well. For Athena found all the people to admit it, it was something else in entirety. What do you mean by that, Athena? Who is the man who I should shake hands with to make you admit such a thing? As Demeter then said, show us, we wish to see. And so, a visage of Naruto appeared. As everyone could see the charm of him. He was quite young, isn't he? No, he's at least 35 by now, as everyone was shocked to find that out. 35? Yes, 35. As everyone was shocked, as Demeter then said, he looks like a 17 at best. Who knew Athena like him young, or looking at least like young? But I gotta say, he does have his charm to it, even if it's a little bit, on the other side. Well, he is quite a genius mind, and not only that, he makes you want to feel at home. Really now? Say what I go and visit down him, said Demeter, and Aphrodite had half a mind to go there as well. No, you wouldn't. Hey, you can't by the given rules, but we can. And besides, we can keep an eye on your daughter. And one of us being there, it wouldn't make a difference. We'll remain in our mortal self and stay near your daughter in this sense. You would do that? Said Athena, looking towards Demeter as well as Aphrodite, who nodded. Look, I usually enjoy our banter and the threats we half-heartedly give one another. But more than that, you should never forget that we are friends, Athena. Yeah. And we have been immortals for almost millennia, so we are bound to stick together in that sense. Yeah. I guess I can trust you both. As now we see, so it was decided between Demeter and Aphrodite that Aphrodite would be the one to first go there. And so she did. She met Naruto and Annabeth in a cafe, and from there onwards, she and Naruto and Annabeth began to talk and spend time together. Naruto wasn't sure how, but he was feeling grateful that there was a woman in his life again. He missed Athena still, but she had wished him to have a happy life ahead of him. And Annabeth liked Aphrodite to some extent, but she didn't like how she literally grabbed her father and yanked her to the most girly side, and not the books. But on the other side, she liked her. And so, for the next 5 years, until Annabeth 10, at the age of 10, Naruto and Aphrodite were together. As Aphrodite had decided to have a child with him in the meantime as well. And surely enough, Lacey was brought in. And once Naruto found out that she was a goddess as well, Naruto was heartbroken because he was finally opening his heart again. and yet to be broken again at the same time. As Aphrodite was crying, hugging him closely and tightly, never forget, me and Athena both will be watching over you and our daughters. Yeah, but I don't hate you, I guess. It's just that it is weird, said Naruto, as he scratched the back of his head. I don't know if I'm blessed or cursed. What do you mean by that, Naruto? Blessed in a sense that, I had two goddesses in my life, and both of whom I had a great time with, and they gave me the best gift in known to mankind ever. And a curse in a sense that both of you had to leave as soon as the gift was given to me. Forever. As Aphrodite wouldn't admit it, but she didn't want it to part. But she had to. As Athena came there, I gave you my trust, and you betrayed me, Aphrodite. Athena? Naruto, stay out of this. She's the goddess of love. She has a way of affecting others and their minds. No, it's alright. And besides, you said that I should be able to enjoy a happy life, right? I thought that a woman has came to my life again and could be a mother to our daughter. And not like I'm mad or anything, it's just kind of sad that you have to leave. I still miss you. As Athena looked down, I shouldn't be here, Naruto. You. As Athena was close to breaking down until she disappeared, as Aphrodite was shocked to see this, as she then said, I'm sorry, Naruto, but I have to leave. It's alright. Just both of you take care of yourself. And so, now we see Aphrodite left as well. While on the other side, we see that up in the earth, a fight was being broken out between Aphrodite and Athena. I trusted you. How could you have done this? As Artemis being holding back, Athena. Why did you do this, Aphrodite? She trusted you. Said Athena. Artemis. As now we see Aphrodite then said, I guess I finally realized the meaning of true love that Lady Hera always talked about. As Hera was quite shocked. Was this mortal this special? As Hera then said, are you telling the truth? Of course. I don't know why, but I have this feeling that I should be down there next to my daughter and my husband. But your husband is here. I wish to divorce him. If possible, I'm willing to give up my goddess even to stay with him. As most of them were shocked. Even Athena, you would go that far? Of course I would. This type of love I have never felt before. In all those millennia. Even at the Troy, I couldn't. It was just a battle of egos between us. But now, things are different. As Hera then sighed and smiled, I will agree to your divorce with Hephaestus, and free my son from you and you from your shackles. But you must vow that you would never, ever set a foot inside Ares or Hephaestus' temple ever again. I would swear on River Styx that I won't. Then I swear that from this day onwards you and Hephaestus are freed. And in the next council meeting it was confirmed. Zeus was a little bit mad at this and annoyed, but Hera told everyone that it was fine. Aphrodite has finally fallen in love with one. And there was a debate going on around regarding this Naruto. As now we see, Zeus was taken aback by this, that even his own war muffin, aka Athena, was in love with this mortal. He had a half a mind to smite the guy, but once he saw who he was and how he was, well, respectful to every one of them, he could even hear his prayers as he would apologize that he knew that he has fallen in love with his daughter, but he was being honest about it and telling her that he did love her daughter. He felt that the man was a kind one, and he didn't want to smite it because he was currently the father of his granddaughter, even if she was a demigoddess. As he then said, I think that it would be best if we leave this man alone. And you two are forbidden to go down there. Any of you are not to interfere, especially the women here, in his life again. But Aphrodite, he has been heartbroken twice. But even still, he has his chin up and is happy to have at least his daughters next to him. I don't wish for him to go through that again. As Poseidon and Hades, who were there as well, were shocked and taken aback by the god, king of the gods, tone as well as his response. Brother, are you okay? Do we need to call mother here? What did you eat, father? Said Apollo, as he was worried out as well. I didn't eat anything. It's just that I have respect for the man, and he has been praying to me, and I was quite annoyed at that of what he has said, because I heard his prayers, all of them. I I see. So you respect him? Yes. Seemingly he genuinely loves the two of you, I guess. But unfortunately, before he dies and becomes a part of our domain, we can't do anything. As both Athena and Aphrodite's eyes widen. Wait, what? Yes, I have found a secret, turns out, while this debate. What? This boy, it seems that he is a mortal son, created, not born. What do you mean by that? This child is created by chaos itself, and he's a civilian, and that is why he's able to live and was able to interact with us, even when you had missed on. As that is when everyone was shocked to find out about this. So he's just a mortal child? Yes, he's a mortal civilian child of chaos, created from her generosity and innocence. I can see it within him. But even he doesn't know that, and I wish to it for all of you to honor that and let it remain that way. As the thunder boomed, indicating that he was giving a final order, and everyone accepted that. But Athena and Aphrodite were now hopeful, at least. As now we see, back in the mortal realm, Naruto had taken the 5-year-old Lacey and a 15-year-old Annabeth to camp because the both of them had been saying that they could see monsters around left and right, and so both of them were there as Naruto gave them a hug and decided to camp out near them so that both of them could visit him whenever they wished for. Chiron, while he was setting up his camp, then came near him. Oh, wow. I see that you are confused, Mr. Naruto. Well, it's not every day that you meet a centaur, that is. Chiron laughed. Well, that is true. For a clear-sighted mortal, that is, at least. Why don't you come inside? Oh, but I thought that I can't. Well, Lord Zeus has deemed it necessary, since you have prayed to him, that you are at least welcomed in his humble abode, and you are allowed to stay once a year every week here with your daughter. As now I see, Naruto was more than happy at that, and in the dinner, once he arrived inside, he was greeted by Mr. D, a god in his own right, as he paid his respects, in which Dionysus, who wouldn't admit, was quite pleased by, because for the first time a mortal, and an adult nonetheless, was being respectful to him. He could see why now that both Athena and Aphrodite were ready to go to war with them. And soon enough, Naruto witnessed that as soon as he sat next to his daughters, both of them got, well, claimed. As Naruto was happy that both of his children's mother did that. It was a sweet gesture. As, surprisingly enough, Naruto was claimed as well, and he was shocked. Wait, what? As almost Chiron fainted immediately, as he then said, All hail, Naruto, child of chaos itself, and a mortal one. As everyone was taken aback by that, as so was Naruto. What does this mean, Mr. Chiron? As Mr. Dina said, Father had already told us, but I didn't knew that Chaos Sama would herself would, you know, claim you. As that is when a divine entity appeared and surrounded Naruto and the two girls as both of them disappeared, as Dionysus and the others got on alert. What was that? As even the other gods appeared there. You don't need to worry, children. Everyone bowed to see who were there with their divine weapons. It seems that Chaos wants to meet her son and her grandchildren. And so it was true, as now we see Kushina Uzumaki standing there in her all glory and form, and Minato was standing as her aide. Kachan? Dochan? What is going on here? It's been a long time, my son. As Chaos gave her child a deep hug, a bone-crushing one, as Chaos turned into her Kushina persona, as she giggled, I love you, Narukon. I missed you so much. And look at the little kitties. You really have given birth to a beautiful pair of kids. I wish to have a lot more grandchildren, though. As Naruto had a blush on his face, but, wow, how is this? You see, even all this eternity, even if I am the creator, I tend to get boring. And I have been seeing that the gods have been interfering and mingling with a lot of humans, and they have been changed for the best or for the worst. So to test it out, I allowed myself to be reincarnated as a mortal in Japan as Kushina Uzumaki away from them so they wouldn't be able to find me out. And that is when I met your father and we fell in love and came to America and had you all those years ago. As Naruto had a blush on his face, as Annabeth, who was 15 at the time, then said, So you mean to say that my grandmother and grandfather are. Yes, I am chaos itself. But you can call me Kushina Obasan, or just Obasan. Annabeth-chan. As Naruto looked down, as did Annabeth, Annabeth and Lacey both were being hugged by their grandmother. As Naruto was spending time, we see that on Mount Olympus, Chaos arrived with her children, alongside with Minato. As that is when she then said, "Yes, since Naruto has been claimed by me, Zeus, everyone, as they raised from being bowed, I would request you to give your daughter and Aphrodite yours hands in marriage with my son, because if they wish to stay with him, they can, since he is immortal now." What? Yes, Naruto, I have made you into an immortal. Didn't you realize that you couldn't age? Even if your age was increasing, you didn't look older than 17 years of age? Well, yeah, my students always teased me about that. One time I even tried to grow a beard, but it wouldn't even come or budge. Well, it's because of me, son. As the other guards snickered, especially the younger ones. As now we see, that is when something interesting happened. As she looked toward Zeus and then said, as Zeus flinched, "I am not here to challenge you or overthrow you, Zeus. You need to calm down, child. I'm only here to tell you that Naruto will remain here, and I will side myself with you and protect you and your kingdom." As Zeus was taken aback, and so were many others. "Then it is done, as you wish, Lady Chaos. Then it is decided. I am on your side now." And since it was done, Kushina and Minato then said, "We have a meeting of our own, Naruto." As Minato had a blush on his face, and so did Kushina, as both of them left, as Naruto groaned, "Oh, seriously? I can't believe she would usually do that." "Of course I would." A voice was heard in his ear. You can, yes, you can talk to us any time now, son. Love you. Bye, Naruto-kun, and have a lot of grandchildren," as Naruto fainted after all this. Well, that tends to happen when you got a lot of things dropped on you at one night. As next day Naruto woke up, he thought that he was back at home, but turns out it was something entirely different. As he felt weight on his shoulder, as he then said, "Annabeth, you're too old, dear, to sleep next to me. Why don't you go and sleep on your bed? It's feeling a little bit tight." As Naruto then opened his eyes to see that it was Athena and on the other side Aphrodite, both of them glaring at one another while laying next to him. As Naruto blushed and got up, Wait, what is going on? Where am I?" "You're at Mount Olympus. You're allowed to stay here, Naruto." But what about my career down there?" "Oh well, you can continue that. Since our marriage has been agreed upon, we are now married to you. But what about Hephaestus and you being a... Well, both of those vows have been forsaken since Hera as well as Lady Chaos herself has allowed it. Even Sadix couldn't do anything." "I see. So that means that yes, we can always be together now." As now we see, from then onwards, the most gods such as Hermes, Apollo, and even Ares would observe, alongside with Hephaestus, that Naruto was treating them normally, and they would just laugh and have a good time. There's something about this that I'm quite jealous of. What, dude has pulled two goddesses? Well, yeah, I must admit that as well. Something is quite weird, said a new voice, as they all turned to find that it was Artemis who was standing there. "Little sis?" "For the last time, I'm not. And yes, I must admit there is something off about this boy." Tell you what, why don't you go and have a chat with him? I highly doubt that you yourself might be able to resist his charm," said Apollo to Artemis, as Artemis almost looked like she had swallowed a lemon. "Tell you what, if you go and have a chat with him, and if or you are able to sway him, I will forsake my maidenood and will go out with him if you're able to make him fall in love with you in your woman form, Apollo. Deal. You better not back out on this. I won't. And so the others were interested, as now we see. Apollo did the classical Japanese schoolgirl style in her as he ran in her female form next to Nard and bumped into him. Ow. Are you okay? Yes, Professor. I'm new to the university and exchange student all the way from Japan. What is your name? My name is Miko. Miko, huh? Well, Miko-chan, I'm going to be your professor, I guess, if you are in my class, that is. As after that, Miko made sure now, which was in reality Apollo disguised as Miko, that she was indeed in Naruto's class, and became the most popular girl over the course of year while Naruto continued to teach. And not only that, Naruto would help her out and guide her. And one thing led to another for Miku, and she began to feel herself. Instead of him being drawn to her, she was being drawn to him now. And that in itself spoke volumes, as now we see. Most of the meetings up above, Apollo was made fun of, but he couldn't hide what he was feeling. And so he came out clean and confessed. As now we see one day Naruto up in Mount Olympus as he has returned back to Empire State Building, and there in front of the gates was meeting Miku. Sensei, there's something I wish to tell you. What is it, Miku-chan? And I didn't know you were from Olympus. Well, as Miku turned into Apollo, he then said, Hey, Sensei. Wait, Apollo-san? Yes, it's me, Naruto. I was Miku all along. Yeah, it is kind of weird that my female persona has fallen in love with you and all that. It is weird. I can feel her intense feelings for you and all that. As that is when Ares as well as Hermes and the others couldn't hold it, as they were falling on the ground laughing badly. I can't. This is amazing. As Naruto almost passed out after hearing that. And next thing he knew, Miku was there. Turns out Apollo has split his persona into a reality of its own right and gave it its own free will. And so, Miku was stuck next to Naruto as Apollo was literally left traumatized whenever Miku was in front of him. He had created her to be his perfect counterpart, to go and mess up with his brothers as a form of prank, but now she had madly fallen in love with Naruto and had become handmaids of Aphrodite and even married to Naruto thanks to Hera's blessing as well. Since Chaos wanted a lot of granddaughters or grandchildren, it was kind of necessary. On the other side, Naruto had made quite a good impression on the other males as well. Apollo was kind of his best friend alongside with Hermes, and not only that, Ares was quite confused why Naruto didn't like war, but once it was about chess, which was a war game, and he surprisingly wasn't good in, they found something in common. And Naruto was quite intrigued with Hephaestus' inventions. Even if the man had taken his wife, he was apologetic of. Hephaestus then said the only thing he did was free him from his most stupidest thing that was laying him back, and now he could fully focus. And on the other side, we see, as for Poseidon, Zeus, and Hades, they always sat down and Naruto talked with them, and in this sense, the family was feeling a lot more closer than usual. The gods were closer than ever before in all over the millennia. As now we see, it was that time of the year when the meeting was being held, as the big three were going to start a fight amongst them. As Naruto then said, Lord Zeus. Yes, son. He said, looking towards Naruto, already accepting him as a part of a family. I think that maybe we should consider what Lord Poseidon is saying as well. You think that I would lie, child? I doubt that he is the one who has taken it. Even if he isn't involved directly, he must have asked a demigod to do it. But at least consider that he is your brother, and what would he gain? Everything. Can't you see that, child? He would gain my throne. He is planning to overthrow me, and for the last time, I don't wish for it. I already have a kingdom of my own. What would I gain? As that is when Hades appeared there. And this time, thanks to Naruto, since they were already close, he appeared and said, Have any of you seen my helm? Your helm of darkness? Yes. It seems that both of our weapons have been stolen, brother, said Zeus, as he glared at Poseidon. For the last time, I didn't. Poseidon-sama, please can you show him a proof? Why should I? Because you're hiding it. Please, Lord Zeus. As Naruto said, it would ease things up, and not like it will be any lessing of you. If anything, it will be that you are the bigger brother. As Zeus looked like he swallowed a lemon, but he knew what Naruto was saying was to make sure that he listened. Fine. And so both of the gods of their own right arrived there, as the whole Atlantis was shocked. As after searching out, Zeus then said, I can't sense it here. Neither can I. I'm sorry. I told you, didn't I? For once, just you have to listen to me, and you didn't. I was getting paranoid. That is what you were getting, brother. Enough. We need to know who has our weapons. And for that, we might need to task our grandchildren. As Naruto was taken aback on a quest, yes. And so Percy was claimed, and although Zeus as well as Poseidon were a little bit bickering with one another, they were able to come to calm terms. As not only that, Naruto appeared there and gave his daughter a hug. I know, Annabeth, that this is your first task, but remember, I am and your mothers are always watching over you. And your grandmother and grandfather as well. Just make sure that, I promise, Dad, nothing will happen. But I'm, as a father, worried. If you don't wish to, then don't. I will convince Lord. No, it's fine. I'm more than honored to do so. I'm being trained as a hero, Father. It is my duty to do as the Lord commands. And so Annabeth, as alongside with Percy and Grover, went on a journey. And surely enough, it was discovered that Ares, who was under mind control of Kronos, thanks to Luke, was the one who was holding the weapon of both. Once Percy as well as Annabeth arrived, went with Hades. As Hades had informed and contacted his brother, who was now waiting for Percy to arrive there. And as for Ares, well, let's just say he was shocked that he was able to be mind control, and he was pissed at that. As Percy warned Zeus of the same deed, as Naruto said, maybe we should take into consideration and just check for a moment. I placed him there. There's no way he could escape, Naruto. Why are you taking the demigod side? Because I think if the child is warning us, we should at least have a look. I mean, what could take us so long, right? And so, realizing that Naruto's words had sense, Zeus put aside his pride, and so did the others as they all went there in their divine form. And once they arrived, they made sure that the Titans couldn't make the revolt, and their connection was completely cut off from Tartarus to the mortal world. And once it was certain, no matter how much Luke tried, they couldn't get in touch with the Titans. And Titans alongside the others have vanished. They couldn't get in touch. As now we see. As for Percy Jackson and Annabeth and Grover, they returned as heroes. And soon as they did, Lacey and Annabeth were summoned to heavens in Mount Olympus, where they were turned into mortal. As Naruto begged this in front of Lord Zeus as their reward. And so it was, as Annabeth was taken in as a handmaiden by Athena, and same could be said for Lacey, for Aphrodite. And in this sense, they stayed in a temple that was built between a library and a dollhouse that had been combined to accommodate both of the goddesses and their husband. And now their daughters that were there next to him. As this was going on, we see that Artemis was not able to be found, as Miku, who was also a counterpart of Apollo, was able to relay this message. I have gotten a message from Father. He said that he's not able to find Artemis anywhere. Naruto, we might have to go there and search. You can't, but I'm not an Olympian. If anything, I'm just an immortal, right? You're right, but be very careful. I will. As now we see, Naruto, thanks to the guidance of Aphrodite and Athena, was able to locate Artemis, who was holding on to the sky. As Naruto then said, Lady Artemis, how can I help you? You can't, Naruto. Get away from here. I have to hold the sky, or otherwise it will fall. Let me hold this. What? But you can't. I am an immortal. Even if I am in pain, I won't die, right? You won't. As Naruto prayed a prayer to his mother, and then began to hold on to a sky and at all of its weight. As Naruto felt as if his bones were being crushed, he was beginning to bleed from his eyes, from his nose, and from his mouth even. As He was screaming in agony, holding on to the sky, Artemis making quick work of Atlas to make sure that he was back at his prison. Even though the others who were in Tartarus were taken care of, Atlas was still roaming around. Luke was able to get in touch with him. As Naruto was in deep pain and agony, we see that Naruto was still holding on to it. As the hunters of Artemis arrived, as Naruto seeing this, that Atlas was back in his place, let it go, but he was too far much weakened, as suddenly he shot out two of the arrows that he was able to grab towards Artemis and Zoe, both aiming to kill them and make them fade, as Naruto jumped in and took the hits directly, saving them both as Naruto fell to the ground. Immediately enough, we see both of the goddesses, Aphrodite as well as Athena, teleported there. No, Naruto. As did Miku arrived, and she began to pray to Apollo and begin to heal Naruto, but it was to no avail. He hasn't woken up. No matter what you do and try, if it even can kill a goddess, what do you think it will do to an immortal? Let alone two of them stabbed inside one of them. And once they were pulled, Naruto had a faintest of faintest heartbeat, in which the goddess were left crying with relief. As now we see, that is when something much more sinister happened. Chaos itself was pissed as she arrived there, and Atlas, for the first time sensing what it was scared. You will be erased and turned into stone forever. As it was done, his soul was erased as his body remained there, turned into stone, holding on to the sky. As Zoe and the other hunters for the first time was scared who this woman was. As their lady then said, bow with bow, Lady Chaos, my son, Artemis. He is alive, isn't he? Yes, he is. Good. The Titans will be erased, all turning to stones. And from Kronos to all the other Titans, they begin to turn. Mother Rhea, what about her? She will be spared alongside with Leto. And no one else. As after that was done, we see Naruto was taken from them as Kushina left. As Naruto woke up, he was bandaged up completely, as Kushina then smiled. Still as ever before, Suchi. I almost lost you. Yeah, but it was worth it. I was able to protect people precious to me. Always like your father. As Minato was near him, as both of them gave their son a hug. Well, my lady, I think that it's time for him to leave. Yeah, I guess so. And make sure you visit sometimes around Naruto. I will. I promise, Tojan. As soon as they left, we see that Kushina looked at him, and with a smile, she grabbed him and pounced on him, as Minato had a blush on his face. As now we see, as soon as Naruto returned on the Mount Olympus, his wife dashed towards him and grabbed him by, well, whatever that was not broken that they could grab, as Zeus and the others were quite happy with what he was able to do. As Zeus then looked towards him, we almost lost you, Naruto. Don't let this ever happen again. I promise I won't allow this to happen. As now we see Naruto enjoying his life with his wives. He was seated now reading a book while watching his daughters and their mothers bickering about something as he chuckled. As he was expecting a daughter from Miku named Himawari. But as he wanted to name her, but his mother intervened and told her and him to name her granddaughter Mito. She wanted at least one daughter to be named after her own mother, her mortal mother, who had passed at giving her birth. And so it was decided, Mito it shall be. And as for Naruto, he was just wondering, how in the hell did his life turn around like this? His parents died when he was young, in a car accident as soon as they came to America. He studied hard to become a professor. He was going to enjoy a normal life and make sure that his life was nothing more than bland and just on and about his job. He would settle down once in a while, but he did not knew that it would be with the goddess, and his own mother would turn out to be Chaos, the creator of everything, it seems. He didn't know if he was lucky or damn lucky now. But one thing was for certain. His normal life was now no longer any normal. and he was okay with that. As this is where I'm going to be leaving this short movie of, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you did, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel, and follow me on my other channel, Meta What If, as well. As this is a Bolo Uchiha, and I'm signing off for the day. Peace.